According to a new report, multiple former officials within the Trump administration have confirmed that Fox News hosts, certain hosts on the network, were pretty much instrumental throughout the entire Trump administration. To put it another way, basically during Donald Trump's 4 years in office, Fox News was calling the shots. People like Lou Dobbs, Sean Hannity, Janine PIRO, Laura Ingram, and a couple others were the ones who Donald Trump regularly turned to, including, according to these reports, during cabinet meetings when he would call them up to get their opinion and advice on what he as president should be doing. Now, some of these officials say a lot of the phone calls were strictly PR type calls. You know, they would say, don't say it this way, say it this way. Don't go out and talk about this, instead go out and talk about this. But there were times, especially with regard to immigration, that hosts like Sean Hannity and Lou Dobbs, according to reports, not just the new one, but reports from back in the day, confirmed those two did in fact give advice on immigration policy. So what do we make of this, right? Again, we have multiple different officials here. Stephanie Grisham, Alyssa Farra, John Kelly, Michael Pilsbury, a whole host of these individuals have confirmed that this is what would happen. And it wasn't just during the cabinet meetings either, by the way. Trump would have phone calls with them where nobody would hear it. Then he'd walk into a room and say, hey, Sean says do this. So again, what do we make of this? Well, I like to pose it this way. And this is mainly for conservatives, though. But what would you do if you found out that every evening, Joe Biden or even Barack Obama back in the day was having nightly phone calls with Rachel Maddow or Wolf Blitzer or Jake Tapper or any of the other people that these conservatives seem to hate because they think, oh, they're evil liberals. They'd be up in arms. They absolutely would be calling for these networks to be shut down if they thought for a second that any of their hosts had any kind of influence over policy here in the United States. And yet here we have confirmed reports that this is what was happening with Fox News. These individuals were serving as what the staffers referred to as the cable cabinet. And here's where things get a little more twisted, folks. This isn't the first administration where this happened. George W. Bush, on at least one occasion, I think it actually happened twice, but he brought in all kinds of right-wing hosts, including Sean Hannity, sat them down. Laura Ingram was in there too for one of the meetings. Sat them down inside the Oval Office and had little strategy meetings with them. A sitting president, the last two sitting Republican presidents, have been colluding on messaging, possibly even policy, with right-wing media. And that is one of the reasons, of course, that right-wing media loves to prop up these Republicans. There's this symbiotic relationship between the two. And no, for the record, it is not illegal at all. Is it unethical? Hell yeah. But it's not illegal. And if that's what they're going to do, and of course, as we also know, let me point this out and mention in a video the other day, Ted Cruz has Tucker Carlson's cell phone number, the two of them text message. I mean, this relationship between Republican politicians and conservative media outlets is absolutely something that the left needs to emulate. Sorry, but they do. Again, it's not illegal. It may be unethical, sure, because they don't ever disclose these kinds of things, but I think that's what we need on the left as well. These leftist politicians, Democratic politicians, whatever, they don't reach out to independent leftist media. I've been in this business for 18 years, folks. It doesn't happen. It's like pulling teeth trying to get these individuals to come on shows. Unless, of course, it's the cable shows. But those folks are 100% corporate. So unless and until we have this same kind of relationship with independent leftist media, Republicans are going to roll all over us. Because this is concerted efforts to get everybody on the same page. That's what this is all about. So that the messaging from one program to the next doesn't change. so that the president or the politician, whoever it may be, is on the same page as the conservative media. It creates the giant echo chamber. And that's why both conservative politicians and conservative media are so powerful. They feed off of each other. Maybe if we had that on the left, maybe Democrats could be a little bit more successful. It's time to stop just calling out what the right is doing and maybe take a couple of pages out of their playbook. If you want to beat them, sometimes you have to beat them at their own game.